bringing it to them all day. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Win or lose, we bringing it to you always. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange or black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336. I am your endearing song host, Matt Soroka, and as always, I'm joined by the button lover and winning coach, Josh Soroka. Hey, Josh.
My little league team is 500, so you were correct.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say winning coach. I've been waiting for a year to say winning coach, so I gotta throw it for you.
We've had 2 games this season, and I won the second game. And way different than the previous seasons where it's like maybe we'll get a win before the end of the season.
Yeah.
So we won game 2, which was against the team that beat us 3 times last season in like ugly fashion, and kind of my rival, the guy that's frustrating to play against. So it was nice to handedly beat them.
Yeah, congrats. We have our first practice on Monday. After the draft, I already have a rival who I'm looking to take down this year.
Oh,
so
hold on.
Get into it.
Back up. I know we got to talk Orioles talk. There's plenty of Orioles talk.
I got a lot of notes in there. We got to talk about Albert Perez. Yeah.
I saw your notes, but you had the Little League draft this week, and it's your first time doing a Little League draft.
Yeah.
So I got to ask, how was your Little League draft?
Well, it's a little bit weird. There was a lot of
it's totally weird.
Well, the weird thing about it for me, Josh, and I've been in education for a long time, so I'm used to you have parent-teacher conferences. I know my students really well because I spend all day with them every day.
Right.
Josh, these Little League coaches know every kid in the league, their parents, their grandparents, contributions in the neighborhood going back generations, more than I ever knew any of my own my students who I spend every day with, teaching wise. They just know everybody, and we're really quick to give opinions on everybody and their mom and their grandma and all that stuff.
But then you were in the same situation I was that first year, where you're just looking and you're like, Maverick sounds like a baseball name. I'll pick Maverick. You're going like by the name.
I was going mostly by the name.
Yeah.
And I chose what I think is a very athletic squad. There was one
who you have not met yet. You're just going off
based on the name. They have very athletic names.
Yes.
There was one Japanese player, and one of the coaches like, listen, this guy, his parents don't speak very good English. He still struggles. I was like, he's on my board. Next pick, I'm taking him. So
I did the same thing. I think I told you last week. I did the same thing. They told me that his parents didn't speak English. I said, I want him. He's the best player on my team.
Yeah. And so I was able, I didn't remember anything between the evaluations and the draft.
Right.
So I had no idea. So they just ranked all these players. They gave me, the 5, whatever. I lucked out because you know how this works is very sophisticated. I was impressed in terms of you get to freeze 3 players, right?
Yes. Oh, you get keepers.
Right. Keepers, 3.
Oh, see, I get 2. I get my son and my assistant's son.
Okay. I just get one. I just chose one Silas.
Okay.
And what they do is based on the rankings, what round he was projected to go in, I have to skip that pick. So other coaches lost a first round pick, a second. One coach lost their first, their second, and their third round pick for the 3 guys that they froze.
Oh, I like that.
Silas was a 6th rounder. Steal.
Steal. You got him in.
So I feel really good about that. So I got my first 5 rounds, then I skipped my 6th round pick. But I feel really good about that. That was the lowest kind of furthest down pick of anybody. So I got my pick of those highly rated guys.
Yeah,
so I'm excited to work with them on Monday. I feel good about my squad. And we're the Giants, which there was no Orioles, wasn't an option.
But black and orange.
I kept the black and orange. My kid has a lot of black and orange stuff. Mercer Bears here is black and orange. Orioles are black and orange. So I feel good about the black and orange. Pirates were the first team to go. with a shocker. And then the Braves went second.
Oh, yeah, I know. You're right. Braves should be the first in your area.
Yeah, and then I was third. And then I had to choose, I think, the Cardinals, the Twins.
No Dodgers option?
No Dodgers.
That's surprising.
Yeah, it was Cardinals, Twins, and someone else. I think it was based on leftover jerseys available.
Right. The leftover teams they send down to T-ball.
Oh, and the A's. The other team was A's, and I was not team A's again.
That's what you did not want.
Yeah, we've been the A's 2 years.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I told you. My player whose parents don't speak English, he comes up to me on the very first practice, says, "I'm Venezuelan like Anthony Santander."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He knew Santander. That's awesome.
Yeah, and he had a Orioles wristband because Santander is one of his favorite because he's Venezuelan.
Yeah.
And he is the best player on my team by far.
Yeah, that's cool when you have that connection. Show him some Santander swings to emulate.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, Josh. We're 3 weeks, 22, I think, days. I think it's 22 is the count. Days to open a day.
This is Wednesday night we're recording, so 3 weeks from tomorrow is opening day.
Yesterday I purchased my plane tickets to come to Baltimore for opening day.
I have not yet.
You got to get on it, Josh. The price is going to start going up.
I know. I got a little screwed with a long story about how a church is paying for my flights, and they were supposed to do it weeks ago. They haven't yet, and now I got to get it all straightened out, but flights all went up. So I'll be there. I just don't have the flight yet. Instead, I've been busy. You were purchasing plane tickets to Sarasota. I was purchasing
no to Baltimore.
To Baltimore. I was purchasing baseball tickets for Sarasota.
Nice.
So I am going on Friday. I am heading out to Sarasota, and I'm going to the Saturday game at the Braves complex and the Sunday game at Ed Smith Stadium.
Nice.
And I found out without any planning, the Zany one is also going to be there for those 2 days.
Oh, cool.
And then I found out without any planning that our parents are going to be there on Sunday.
Oh, really?
For the game.
So you all just randomly picked the same weekend to go to
I think that Mom and Dad decided to go because Laura and Bert were going without knowing it was the same weekend that I am going.
Okay.
So I did at least arrange that I'm in the same section as Bert for in the Braves complex. So we'll be sitting together there, and so it'll be good to see them and see some Orioles baseball and hopefully a lot of Jackson Holiday.
Yeah, take some notes. So Josh, for you, is that what you're looking forward to? I remember going. When did we go? 2020?
Pre-COVID. We haven't been back since
2018, I think.
Yeah, I went to one game 3 years ago. I went one game during the COVID year. I went to one spring training.
That was 2022.
Yeah, I went to one there, but yeah, we went as a show. It's been a few years.
I think it was 2018. And I remember I spent most of the spring training just admiring Dylan Bundy's legs, how huge they were.
Right.
Josh, for you, is there's what are you looking forward to? And like,
there's two guys I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see the young kids. I want to see Jackson Holiday and Michael. What is it? Brantford, the center fielder, the fast guy.
Enrique Bradford.
Enrique. What I say, Michael?
Yeah.
No, Enrique. I'd like to see those two guys, but especially Holiday. I mean, I'm expecting to watch Holiday on my TV and in big league parks a lot this summer. I would like to see him in the small confines of Ed Smith Stadium up close.
Yeah, I want to see how big his muscles are. Talking about how much he's lifting. And I just looked on my Facebook memories. It was 2016 that we went to Sarasota.
Okay. Well, we went a few years. I think we went as a show. I think we went 3 years as a show.
Oh, yeah. 2016. And another memory from 2014.
Yeah, we went a few times.
Okay.
We got some good interviews down there.
Yeah.
And had a good time. Remind me, let's talk Orioles now that we're into it. But remind me before we get out of here.
Podcast. Okay, go ahead.
That I went to a baseball game this weekend.
Oh yeah.
I went and saw the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, I'm on that wait list. I want to go. How was it worth the price of admission? How were the Savannah Bananas?
Let's talk about it at the end. Let's focus on Orioles. Just don't let me forget.
Okay. I have something in my notes called Shenanigans, which I was not talking about Savannah Bananas. I was talking about the talent show for the Orioles. But I think that falls under Savannah Bananas as well. So we can talk shenanigans at the end.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
So the Orioles are still the second best record in spring ball, right?
I believe they're 10-2 going into today, and currently they're playing the Pirates. And last I checked, they were winning, but I don't have an update on that score.
They no, they did. They won today 6-4.
Okay, nice. So that means they're 11-2,
which would put them top in the American League.
Well, yeah, I mean it's
top in the Sarasota League. Actually, you know what? That puts them into the top of all of baseball because the Dodgers lost today. The Dodgers are 10-3, which means the best spring record in baseball right now is your Baltimore Orioles at 11-2.
Yeah, in the Grapefruit League, we're number one, and yeah, you're right across all of baseball, number one. Does that mean anything, Josh? That we're 11-2?
It means I don't know, because I say all the time wins and losses in spring training do not matter. I do look at the run differential, which is silly because so many times we've talked about how the run differential is stupid because one blowout
who's
can affect it.
It could even be like a non-roster guy just invited to camp.
I know, but it does. But it looks good to see double digits there. So it's good to see plus 19 there.
Yeah. I mean, the record doesn't matter, but on the other hand, it shouldn't be surprising because we have the top farm system in baseball.
Right.
And all these prospects are kind of here, right? Your Kobe Mayos, Kerstats, Kausers, they're all kind of up here. And so we have a team that won 101 games. We also have all these top prospects, and Jackson Holiday included, who are here in spring training. So we have a ton of depth. I think the one surprising thing in terms of, you mentioned run differential, is we've given up very few runs, 44 total runs across these 14 games. We're averaging like a little over 3 runs a game given up. And that's surprising given that Cobb Bradish hasn't been here at all. John Means hasn't been here at all. Corbin Burns pitched twice, hasn't looked that good. So, and we'll get into it in the show, some surprise performances. To me, what's been most surprising is some of the pitching performance by some of these pitchers, which then shows up, I think, in the record.
Like today's starter was Tarahan,
right?
Yeah. So it's like, who had him penciled in for pitching for the Orioles this year?
Well, he wasn't even on the squad up until
that's what I mean.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
2 weeks ago. I think it was a week ago.
Was it a week ago?
I don't even think we've talked about him joining the Orioles.
Oh, you're right. I think it happened on Monday night, right after the show.
It did. Yeah. It happened. That's exactly when it happened, after I posted the show.
Yes. So Julio Teheran he seems like a depth piece, so it's good to have him here. It seems like, though, it's something kind of interesting has happened here, Josh. All of these kind of who's going to be our fifth starter, and then we say, oh, well, we bring in maybe it's Teheran and he looks good. Well, maybe it's Cole Irvin and he looks great.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we got to talk about Albert Suarez, who kind of out of nowhere looks amazing. And I don't mean out of nowhere. I'm sorry. I should say out of Japan, where he's been playing the past, I think 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Or out of nowhere. I don't even know.
Out of nowhere, as in he wasn't on our radar at all.
Like he wasn't on a major league team the past few years. It's kind of wild. Right. But he's changed something in his gait, and you never see, like, he's 34, and now all of a sudden he's hitting 96.5 miles per hour. He's 34. He's been around, forever, but's only played he has 115 innings pitched total, and that was in 2 seasons, in 2016 and 2017. Hasn't pitched in the major since 2017. Spent the last several years pitching overseas, and now all of a sudden comes back. He was pitching in the past 4 years in Japan and Korea, comes back. Orioles signed him for some reason. Why would you sign a 36-year-old pitcher out of Japan? I have no idea.
The same reason they just signed that Turahan guy.
Yeah.
It's all flyers, I guess.
They tweaked something in his delivery, something about his hip separation. I don't know exactly what that means, but he said he made some adjustments. They made some adjustments on the mechanics with his hip separation, which he claims has helped a lot with his velocity. And so he looks really good. I mean, he had that amazing one start. So we have to see him pitch some more, but that's going to be a kind of interesting story to watch.
True. No, it's very interesting to see that we couldn't get, like we talked before about, we got to get through that first month of injuries. And now we've got a soft schedule for that first month. We've got pitchers that, like Cole Irvin, Suarez, these guys you mentioned that are pitching well, that it's like, okay, that can get us to June. We could be okay. And it's I think it's really, when I look at the schedule, it's really important that we get up some games and get well above 500 before the tough June. And that was scary with Bradish and Means out. And now it's like, I feel we'll be okay. I'm not too worried. And I hope it's real and not just spring training stats.
Yeah, well, there's no way to know if it's real or if it's spring training stats. What we can look at is, and this is why I think people are making a big deal about Suarez and Cole Irvin specifically, that their velocity is up. Yes. Their velocity is higher than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And so that's like stuff, right? That's not, 3 bloopers against, and Suarez, his stats right now are 5 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts.
Right.
And the other day when he started, he struck out Kyle Schwarber twice. He struck out Trey Turner twice. So he struck out the A team of the Phillies. He didn't strike out the B and C squad at the end of the game. Like, he was facing their A squad, and he was dominant. So that's,
yes,
to me, that has turned into, I didn't realize this to start spring training, that the two most, I thought it was going to be Holiday, and that still is a compelling story to watch. But now all of a sudden, Albert Suarez and Cole Irvin have become two kind of compelling stories to watch this spring training, to see if they can continue with their stuff and continue to dominate.
Yeah, and Irvin is right there behind them with 5 innings pitched, only 3 strikeouts. But again, still has that 0 ERA. And then the other guy that we talked about in this 5 spot is Tyler Wells. He's only pitched 2 innings, but they were scoreless as well.
Yeah, it's almost easier to look at the hitting side of things because they have just more plate appearances. A lot of these pitchers only pitched, I think no one's pitched more than 2 games so far. Most of them
5 innings is the most innings pitched.
Right. Yeah.
So Suarez, Irvin have and the other Suarez. Can you?
Yeah, there's Andrew Suarez and Albert Suarez
and Albert Suarez.
Yeah,
Albert Suarez is the starter. Andrew Suarez is the reliever.
Yeah, and it's weird too.
They spell it different, right?
I think it's spelled the same.
No, it's spelled the same. But they're both A Suarez.
Yeah, and Albert Suarez has a brother who I think plays for the Padres, but it's not Andrew Suarez. It's another Suarez who's a brother.
Yeah, gets a little confusing with the Suarezes.
Yeah, I don't think both Suarezes will make the team though. So I think
But will Fanatics screw
I'm not
up
sure if either Suarez will make the team.
So, but yeah, no, you're right. Batting is much easier because you can look at double-digit plate appearances. Pitching, we're limited, but you also got to remember that for all 5 of those innings, that's like 15 batters minimum.
Good math, Josh. Right on the fly. Nice.
Well, I mean, it's minimum. I was going to see if it says on my little stat sheet how many
batters faced.
It does not.
Okay, that's fine. But I agree. The hitting is interesting. But again, I remember last week, just a week from today, we were having conversations around, Jackson Holiday not hitting. And now all of a sudden you look up a week later and he's batting .333, pretty much just because he had just one really good game. He had 3 hits. And all of a sudden that takes his hit total from, 3 or 4 to 7. And it looks really good.
Yeah, he got you're right. He got his triple. He kind of, after games of no hits, he got that triple to wake things up. And then yesterday he had that everything but the home run cycle game. Yeah, that definitely helps out your stats.
Yeah, and so these things change just by having a good week.
But I find it interesting that the guys with the most at bats is Jackson Holiday, Heston Kjerstad, Tyler Nevins, Kobe Mayo, and Jordan Westberg. It's clear that the Orioles want to see what these players can do. and try to see where these guys, at what level do these guys fit into their system right now.
Yeah, the Jackson Holliday is not surprising that he leads the team in at bats because you knew everyone's very clear. I think they want him to make the opening day roster.
Yeah, they do.
And but the surprising one for me is Kobe Mayo. And Kobe Mayo, by the way, is just crushing it. He had another double today.
Now Mayo is close to forcing his way onto this team.
I mean, his OBP at this point is 462. He's has 4 doubles already in spring training and 21 at bats. So he's crushing it. He's walked 4 times too. So it looks like, I mean, I obviously can't watch all his games. Thank you, Masson.
Right.
But leads the team in walks as well. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. The one that stood out to me as odd is Tyler Nevins. Why is he getting such a good look?
Yeah.
Is it simply that Gunnar was hurt, so they put another infielder in there in the mix? Or do they really see him as a future on this team, or trying to show him off for other teams? I don't get how Tyler Nevin fits into this.
Yeah, this is where, this podcast becomes dumb, because we talk about, it must be significant that Jackson Holliday is getting so many bats and that Kobe Mayo is getting so many bats. And then you look and see Tyler Nevins, and is it
right? It's like
Daniel,
what?
and not just that, Daniel Johnson has up there in teams most at bats. Is this saying something about Daniel Johnson? Daniel Johnson's not going to make the team, but I think it's just, so some of it is, yes, we want to get looks Jackson Holliday, and some of it is we're getting guys 1 and 2 at bats, and then we need to turn it over to somebody else while everyone else hits the showers. So I think Tyler Nevin and Daniel Johnson is getting a lot of cleanup duty. I mean, Daniel Johnson leads the team in games played. He's played in 11 of our 14 games. Just because I think we need someone to do kind of mop-up duty.
It's right, going out in the outfield and finish the game.
Right, exactly. But I was thinking about this, and I put this in the notes in terms of kind of 2 categories based on who's played well, who hasn't played well, who's played well, the Jake Fox Award, or if we want to make a more recent reference, Franchi Cordero from last year.
Okay, all right. So those were guys that had great springs.
Yeah, and so and guys who I must clarify this, guys who aren't good but had great springs.
Okay, now that gets a little tricky because we don't know the backside. But guys who aren't supposed to be good that had great springs.
Who make us want to buy into this hype that all of a sudden they're good players.
Okay.
And so
all right.
I guess this raises the question, are these good players, or is this just a Jake Fox?
All right. So Jake Fox Award so far, you got to be giving it to these starting pitchers, right? You got to be giving it to Cole Irvin and Terahan and the guy from Japan.
Yeah, Suarez. Terahan, this was his first start, so I'm not saying anything about
him.
All
right, fine. So but I'll give it to Suarez and Irvin. And at the same time, I hope it's real. I hope it's not Jake Fox effects.
Yeah, no, it could be. It could be real. They got real stuff. The other guy in terms of pitching who I think has been surprising, but I don't believe it, and that's Keegan Aiken. Just, again, small sample size. Throwing 4 innings, 4 strikeouts, no runs, and in fact, no hits for Keegan Aiken. So hasn't given up a single hit yet in spring training in 4 innings. That feels a little Jake Foxish to me. Jake Foxish. And then in terms of batters, now 2 guys have had great spring trainings. I'm not saying these guys are Jake Fox, but it's worth noting that Colton Cowser and Kobe Mayo have been great in spring training. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, but you're putting them out there under Jake Fox, where these guys are guys that are having great spring and they're supposed to be good players.
Yeah, but we're not penciling Kobe Mayo into the opening day roster. I don't think anybody was.
No, you're right. We're not.
Maybe Cowser.
This was okay. These are guys that could force their way onto this roster. So you're just putting them in under Jake Fox because they're having
great spring training,
better springs than we expected.
Yes, exactly. And the other guy, and this is a true Jake Fox Award. My last guy is I mentioned before, Daniel Johnson, don't lie and say any listeners, don't lie and say you heard of Daniel Johnson before the spring training. You've never, maybe you had a friend named Daniel Johnson. That's a possibility. But you didn't hear of the Orioles or the baseball player Daniel Johnson. But he already has 6 hits in 11 games, batting .316, OBP at .350. So he's off to a nice start.
Him and Errol Robinson.
Yeah, exactly.
Errol Robinson, who played 11 games and has 5 hits for 11 at-bats. So a great batting average.
Yeah, so you can throw him on there too if you want. But both guys who have no shot at making the roster. But it's good to see them playing well. And for the opposite, Josh, and I just call players who have struggled, I'm calling it the Hyun-Soo Kim Award.
All right, as in guys that came in with hype and played bad.
Oh, or I just mean guys who've had bad spring trainings.
All right, so you're
Hyun-Soo Kim famously started spring training 0 for 2,000. I forgot what it was, but a really long 0 for streak.
I thought he started the season 0 for.
No, maybe, but he also started spring training 0 for. He had a long 0 for in spring training.
All right.
So guys who so far have struggled in spring training, this disappoints me because I think this guy's ready for a gangbuster year, and I wonder what this does to him. If he even makes open day roster now, I'm starting to get a little bit nervous, Josh. But Heston Kjerstad has gotten off to a rough start.
Yeah, he's batting under 200.
Is that a big deal at all to you?
It's a huge deal, I would say. He's batting under 200. He's got no walks, so he's not showing any patience at the plate. The only thing that I'm reminded of is years ago when we interviewed DJ Stewart. Now, this is the old Orioles regime, and they were telling him basically swing at everything. Just swing hard for the fence.
Yeah, well, they thought he was taking too many pitches.
They thought he was taking too many pitches. So my only hesitancy would be if they're telling Kjerstad to swing hard at everything because it's only spring training. But the 200 sub 200 ERA, the no walks, the 4 hits with 21 at bats is disappointing, and no home runs.
Well, so no extra base hits at all. He's our power hitter.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it is worrisome.
Okay. It means, I think in the grand scheme of things, Heston Kjerstad struggling spring training means nothing. But I worry, because he's my rookie of the year guy, I worry that this could impact his making the team if he struggles.
He's not your rookie of the year guy.
Oh, yeah. It's too early for bold predictions.
I will
say no more.
I will not allow you to choose Kjerstad.
Huh?
You can't choose Kjerstad as your rookie of the year.
Why not?
Because we've got Jackson Holliday this year.
Okay.
You're saying Kjerstad's going to outperform Jackson Holliday in 2024.
Yeah, Kjerstad offensively, he's more seasoned. He has more professional playing experience. He has more power.
I cannot wait till our bold predictions episode, and even better for the offseason for a bold prediction that I got right and you got wrong.
All right. Other guys who struggled, Josh, are you concerned about him? Adley Rutschman. He's not played well so far as spring training.
I am not concerned about Adley Rutschman at all. I don't even think he needs to play in spring training. I know he is. He's got 12 at bats and 1 hit, right? Yeah,
I think he got a hit today, so it'll make us two hits for Adley.
I am not concerned about Adley Rutschman.
Okay, here's the guy I'm concerned about too. Like this has become just players I really like who now I'm concerned about. Ryan McKenna. I'm a Ryan McKenna dude. I like him. He struggled this spring training, and it feels like this is a bad spring training to struggle if you're Ryan McKenna.
There's too much competition. The only thing McKenna's got going for him is that Cedric Mullins got hurt.
Yeah. Well, the other thing he's got going for him is he has no options.
Yeah, but I don't even think this team cares that much about options. Where the old Duquette and Buck used to care about options. I don't think the current state of the Orioles need to worry about options because we have a lot of young guys that can go up and down for years.
So we'd be okay with losing Ryan McKenna to another team?
I don't want to lose Ryan McKenna. But if he continues to play this way, I think we are going to have to lose Ryan McKenna.
Yeah, it's hard to make an argument when you have Cowser playing well, you have Stowers playing pretty well. Of course, you have Kjerstad. It's hard to make an argument that you should keep Ryan McKenna over a lot of the guys you have choices, but it's hard to make the argument. Pitching-wise, we've seen some struggles, some Hyun-Soo Kim moments. I think the one that's most concerning, but maybe we shouldn't be concerned because another veteran situation. And so he's not concerned, so maybe we shouldn't be concerned. And that's Craig Kimbrell. He's been rough so far.
Yeah, no, he's got a 22.5 ERA.
Well, so, you don't have to put it out there like that. Yeah, it's only been a couple innings, but he's got hit around a couple innings.
Right. He's only pitched 2 innings. Yeah, 2 innings.
Yeah. But he would have pitched more, but his pitch count got too high.
If you're concerned about him, then you should also be concerned about Corbin Burns, who also got hit around.
Oh, I don't think that's fair.
Why not?
Unfair statement.
Why not? You're looking at 2 veterans who gave up hits.
Okay. Because Craig Kimbrell is not a Cy Young winner. Craig Kimbrell is older. What is Craig Kimbrell, like 36, 37 now? 35, fine. And he's coming off a postseason where he really struggled. Corbin Burns has come up, and just the position of reliever is much more volatile as well. And none of that applies to Corbin Burns.
But Craig Kimbrell is a 9-time All-Star, 2-time reliever of the year, and he won the World Series with Atlanta. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I agree.
So he's a veteran. I mean,
but he's not as good. Also, I forgot to mention he's not as good as Corbin Burns.
Different rotations, yeah, or different positions. Yes, you're right.
Not different. Even if they play the same position, Corbin Burns would still be better.
Probably so. But no, I am not concerned about either one. It's too small of a sample size for me to be concerned about any pitcher at this moment.
Okay. Well, I'm already stressed out about Kimbrell. I'll tell you right now, I'm already stressed out about it because he's our new closer. And I watched Felix Bautista last year, and who blew the only even save I can remember him blowing was that one, was it to Houston, and we gave the home run. But he was Mr. Lights Out. We know this is going to be an issue. And all of a sudden, what if Craig Kimbrell blows 2 or 3 saves? Now, all of a sudden, we're going to go to Cano. Well, what does that do to the rest of our bullpen? It was so nice last year to be able to relax in the 9th inning. Not just relax in the 9th inning. It wasn't relaxing. You were pumped up. I couldn't wait. I was rooting for a 1 or 2 run lead going into the 9th last year. Give me that. I want to see Bautista blow some people away. Now, the second we get a 1 or 2 run lead, in the 9th inning, I'm gonna start sweating. I'm already sweating thinking about Craig Kimbrell coming in with a 1-run lead in the 9th inning against the Yankees, facing Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. I'm already sweating, Josh. I'm just getting hot thinking about it.
I hear you, but I go back to it's spring training. He's working on stuff. He's still stretching out. Batters are always ahead of pitchers, and this guy is built for those high pressure situations late in the game, which you will never have in a spring training game. You cannot simulate a high leverage closed situation. No matter what you do, you cannot get that in Sarasota.
Josh just throwing out the cliches. Pitchers are ahead of batters, working on some stuff. You're just throwing out every cliche excuse in the book.
I am not worried about Craig Kimbrell.
Are you worried? Are you worried about another guy who struggled from the bullpen? And that's my boy, Cesar
Perez. Yeah. Slightly.
Now, why would you be more concerned about him?
Because he pitched better than expected last year. So is it a flash? Do I trust it? That's why I'm concerned.
So Kimbrell has more of a track record, but you're relying on that.
Yes, correct.
All right. But that's just 2 kind of interesting things to watch in terms of the bullpen. I think is going to be the question mark. I mean, starting and bullpen. In fairness,
it's all pitching, and I really think it's hard to get a true grasp of pitching during spring training because they're not facing the right players. They're not facing pitching's all about kind of the pressure and situation, and you don't get any of that in Sarasota. So it's really hard. Besides, the only thing you can practice in spring training is release points and hitting targets. You can't practice trying to strike a guy out. It's much harder to simulate that type of thing. That'd be my takeaway with pitching.
Yeah. And people make the argument all the time, and you made it earlier, that pitchers are working on things, and there might be some truth to that. But I think we've also seen, off seasons, pitchers work on things.
They do.
In this day and age, I think very few players feeling so secure about their future on the major league team that they can say, "Oh, I can just work on things in spring training." No, like you're there to play and play well. You work on things in the offseason or
if they're working on something, it's something that the pitching coach has them doing or something right there. They're not coming in and being like, "Oh, I'm gonna figure this changeup out before opening day." They're not doing that anymore.
How many pitchers on this roster have the luxury to not worry about performance in spring training to just work on stuff?
4, maybe 5.
Not many. Corbin
Burns,
Grayson Rodriguez, maybe.
Yeah.
Kimbrel, because the contract.
Yeah. Cano.
Maybe Cano. But I mean, a lot. But even Cano, you could argue, is fighting to be the eighth inning guy, maybe to be the closer.
Right.
Struggles. So it's not like he's
no. And there's
to play for.
You're right. And there's guys still here that have been up and down and around this team enough that they're pushing to be into this bullpen. When you got guys like Vespi and Zimmerman.
Oh, there's a lot of competition in this bullpen.
And Baker, guys who Kalam, who had a great season last year. These are guys who have been up and down. Seth Johnson. So there's a whole lot more competition.
Not to mention Irvin and Cerez, who we already talked about, who could be pushed to the bullpen if there's not room as a starter.
Right. Yeah, I think there's 4 that were written in pen. There were some that were written really hard in pencil that would have to really struggle to get bumped out. But yeah, there's definitely more competition.
Yeah, I mean it's we don't have to break it all down. We talked about this ad nauseum, but bullpen fascinating. But again, I think we're both on the same page here. Our bullpen might look very different opening day if you look at and then June and July.
It will.
So it's almost less important for me because I already know there's going to be so many change and turnover in the bullpen as we figure it all out. Guys move from starter to pen as we get starters back. So I'm willing to kind of let's just see how this shakes out by July.
Yeah, and that's kind of the big takeaway for me is with Sarasota with spring training is let's look at our pitching overall and depth wise because we are going to have guys who are going to start the season in Norfolk that are going to be up later in the season, and we're going to have guys up here at the start of the season that are going to be down in Norfolk mid-season, and we're going to have injuries and stuff. Too many things went right last year with health-wise that I feel like we don't want to put all our eggs in that basket again this year. I think not having Batista kills us this year. It really hurts. It's going to be having that depth in this bullpen to get through is what's going to help us there. I think the reason I don't know if we've talked about last week, but I think the reason that the win projections is like 87 wins or something for the Orioles is because of those 2 factors, that we didn't have any major injuries throughout the regular season until Batista got hurt. And then not having Batista this year and not having or Vegas not picking us to be healthy the entire season when we're going into the season already banged up and hurt a little bit. It's going to be interesting and have a lot to do with the depth of our pitching.
Well, one of the things that Manager Hyde, I was watching the MLB spring training Orioles trip to the Orioles, whatever they call it, preview. And they interviewed Manager Hyde about the flexibility of the roster. And he credited last year's performance. And I would extend this to health. That has a lot to do with the roster flexibility, right? The fact that they could rest guys because they had such depth and they had guys who could play multiple positions. It seems like we're going to be in that same position where Cedric Mullins, we can talk about him in a minute, he's a little banged up. It's okay if Cedric Mullins plays 110 games. It's okay if Austin Hayes plays 110 games. Like we have enough depth here that players don't have to play through injuries. Like I'm not big injuries, but even like nagging injuries, they don't have to because the next guy up is just as good as the guy he's replacing or almost as good. And so I think the flexibility of this roster and our depth actually works to prevent injuries and maybe helps performance, especially going into July and August, those dog days of summer.
I agree.
Cedric Mullins hurt his hamstring. He's not concerned.
Now he said he'll be back in the lineup next week.
Okay.
So I'm not concerned.
Are you concerned at all that he was hurt a little bit last year? It seems like every year he gets banged up a little bit now.
Yeah.
I hear that Cedric Mullins just is going to get banged up a lot every year.
I am not concerned about Cedric Mullins being hurt. I am concerned if Cedric Mullins goes into a slump. I think I go back to the switch hitting Cedric Mullins that really struggled and would get into some deep slumps.
Yeah.
Before he focused on batting on one side of the plate and coming out and now 2 years ago with that amazing season.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned about him being able to keep that up.
Yeah, there's a couple guys on this roster who you look at a little bit wild cards, but if they play well, they could be game changers.
Yes.
And Cedric Mullins is one of those guys where you don't even know. Is he your number 1 hitter? Probably not anymore.
Right.
Is he your number 9 hitter? Maybe. Well, I don't think he's a 9 hitter.
No, but I think he's a 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, I think he's down there. But if he plays well, like he did 2 years ago, all of a sudden, that changes things in this lineup, and it makes it a much more potent lineup. That's a big deal if Mullins can play well.
No, if we get all-star Mullins, he's a leadoff guy, and he can set the tone. But right now, we've got too many young guys with speed. And
who's your leadoff guy, Josh? Josh, who's your leadoff guy opening day?
Gunnar Henderson.
Really?
Yeah. I don't mind Adley in the leadoff spot either because he sees a good amount of pitches.
Yeah, he'll always take the first pitch.
But I like Gunnar at the top of my lineup.
All right.
Who are you putting there? You can't ask the question and don't think I'm going to turn it around on you.
Yeah, I need to watch Jackson Holliday play more. That's not unfair to put him number 1, I guess. I guess you can't put Jackson Holliday there.
Yeah, I forgot about Holliday. Holliday could be in that play. I think that top 3 for me is Gunnar, Adley, Holliday, and then Mountcastle,
I mean, I would imagine Holliday's batting 7th or 8th to start the season, and that's fine.
Yeah, but I think he works his way up there pretty fast if he hits well. If he plays like he played yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I was thinking about who else would bat leadoff. Austin Hayes, Cedric Mullins. I don't think there's great options there. Yeah, I would go Gunnar Henderson 1, and then Adley Rutschman 2. I like that 1-2 punch of Gunnar and Adley. Gunnar can steal bases. He can hit for average. He can get on base.
Yep, and that's where I'd put Jackson 3, and then Santander, Mountcastle 4, 5.
Yeah, I would put Santander 3 and Mountcastle 4. And then Jordan Westberg, I think, should be up there too. Maybe Jordan Westberg 5 or 6.
Yeah, 5, 6. Then you got a mix of Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes, and then whoever the DH is. So whether it's Kerstead or someone else.
Ryan O'Hearn, maybe.
O'Hearn, McCann.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about the lineup, however it's constructed.
Yeah, either way, I think we're going to have, I mean, you could talk about a bottom half that includes O'Hearn, Holliday, and Mullins. That's not a bad bottom half of a lineup. Right. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yep.
So I think we lack, listen, we don't have, I'd rather have the Yankees 2-3 hitter or 3-4 hitter in Soto and Judge. I'd rather have Soto and Judge than our two guys, but a leadoff of Gunnar and Adley is pretty potent. I wish we had a little more pop in the middle of our lineup. I think it's coming with Kobe Mayo and Hester Kerstead, but I'm not sure if it's there this year. Santander is still our big home run guy.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Another couple big home run guys. We don't have that yet, but it's coming.
I know. But I also think Gunnar doubles could turn into home runs this year.
I think Adley's going to hit more than 20.
I think Adley's going to hit more, and I don't think Jackson Holliday's a home run guy, but I think we're going to see doubles and triples.
Well, I think he's an extra base guy. Like he wants to be a home run guy. I
know. He got that extra weight in, and he's got the speed, so I can see a bunch of some warning track power there.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet money. I'm not willing to bet money because I don't gamble. If I did,
yes, you do.
I know I retired, Josh. I haven't gambled in like a year and a half.
Oh, okay.
I would be willing to bet money that just between three guys, we lead the league in triples. Between Gunnar, Jackson Holiday, and depending on Jorge Mateo's playing time,
I
between those three guys, we're gonna hit a lot of triples.
Well, we also have the extra depth in left field
and the outfield. Yeah,
that helps.
Yeah,
I'll go with that.
All right. Hey, I want to get some other stuff before we run out of time.
Yeah.
I don't know if this matters to you at all. I got an email.
I wanted to talk to you about this.
Did you get that email?
You're talking about the upper deck golf?
I'm hitting golf balls off the upper deck.
Yeah. I can't tell. I cannot decide if I think this is awesome or if I think this is lame. Like, I love being at Camden Yards for anything. I didn't get to see one of the concerts at Camden Yards. I would like to one day. I love Camden Yards. Going to Camden Yards is like going to a church. I love it. Do I want to hit golf balls off of it?
I didn't realize you love going to church that much. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of. Because it's always cool to be in this stadium. But
you think you can hit the warehouse?
Well, that's the thing is no, I can't because they're limited. They're limited in your club size. Okay. I looked into it. I clicked it and read.
I didn't read it that much.
I assume it's expensive. I didn't look at the price. They limit your club size to try to not get you to hit the warehouse. And I don't know. I feel like I could go to Top Golf and have a better experience.
Than at Camden Yards?
I think the game will be better. I think driving these at a stadium, I haven't talked to anyone who's done it. I know this has been going around at other ballparks for a while now.
Okay.
So I'm torn because it's cool to do anything at Camden Yards, but this can't be a great golf experience.
Who's coming up with this stuff? This isn't John Angelos coming up with
No, this is a traveling show.
Oh, who pitched this to the Orioles.
That rents out ballparks and goes to different ballparks.
Oh, I see.
Like 3-4 years ago, it was at Nats Park. Every year they do like 6 different ballparks.
Okay.
And this year, Camden Yards is on the list.
Okay.
I guess, yeah. Angelos was like, how can I get a little bit extra money before I get out of here?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't golf. And so this has very little appeal to me. I thought it was really cool when we got a opportunity, Josh, to take batting practice.
Oh, I would do that any day.
On the field. That appeals to me.
If we ever get invited to do that again, I will fly up to have that experience.
Yeah, yeah.
No problem. That was an awesome experience.
But you're not flying up to hit some golf balls onto the field.
No, I'm not. I am not. So
I wouldn't even drive up probably.
No, and I enjoy Top Golf, but Top Golf is got to be a better experience than this on the golf side.
I've never even been to Top Golf.
But I thought it was cool this week that we also saw David Rubenstein posting photos of his visit to Camden Yards and showing, like, I don't know, you never see this from the Angelos family where it's just like fun photos of him like showing that he like loves baseball and is excited to be the new owner of the Orioles. Pictures of touring Camden Yards, of pretending to swing a bat out on the field.
I didn't realize he was allowed to tour post-COVID.
Yeah, I know. The Orioles definitely got rid of tours. Or meeting fans in the team store. Like, that's all cool stuff that you have never seen the Angelos family do. Have you ever seen John Angelos stand next to an Orioles fan?
No.
No.
Never seen it. Never seen it, Josh. Never
when
seen it.
Was the last time Peter Angelos stepped foot in Camden Yards?
I literally don't remember.
I think it had to be 20 years.
I mean, John was there for some Sunday Night Baseball action last year, but
yes, that's true, but only to try to make it all about him.
Yeah,
and I love that he put these photos out himself on his own Twitter, and not just and in all of them it was like at Oriole fans, check this out. Like, he's excited to be part of this, and that's really cool for me to see an owner that's into this.
Yeah, he's able to communicate in a way that's not off-putting for everything he says.
Yeah, it reminds me of the guy in New York, the Mets owner, Steve Cohen. And it reminds me of how he'll interact with fans online. Now, I'm still waiting for...
Steve Cohen's a lot more extreme than Rubenstein.
No, I agree, but it's a start. And I'm still waiting for Rubenstein to come on session 336, but I know he can't come on until after he actually becomes owner.
Well, and for the record, Josh, I don't know why. I don't want Steve Cohen. I'd rather have Rubenstein and Mike Elias than
No,
Steve
I agree.
Cohen and their GM.
I agree.
How is that without that?
No, I don't want Steve Cohen.
All right.
All right. I just meant it as an example as a guy who's active on Twitter with the fans.
I thought you were using Cohen as this exemplar that we should be trying to imitate.
No, the only thing I like that Steve Cohen did is bring in Buck Showalter.
Right. And a willingness to
spend a lot of money.
Now, we spend it poorly, and I want our guys to spend it well, which is why I don't want Rubenstein signing anybody. I want him saying, Mike Elias, here's a blank check. You sign who's the best fit in this team, and I trust Mike Elias. The thing about the Rubenstein photos for me was I enjoyed watching them. I stared at them a little bit too long just because I guess there's part of me that doesn't believe this is actually happening. And so this is more visual proof that this deal is going through and it's going to happen. And he wouldn't be giving a tour and tweeting these things unless he felt like this deal was a definite thing. So I took encouragement out of that.
I agree. I stared at you talk about staring at the pictures for a little bit too long.
Yeah, zooming in, staring.
I have zoomed and stared in a little too much at the photo of him swinging the fake bat because I was trying to figure out, did someone tell him to pose like that, or is he just out there having fun, or what's going on? Because he's got his hands clenched in a weird way, where it's like maybe it's not a swing, maybe it's just he's putting his hands together. So I have stared at that one a little much.
I saw a clip on TikTok of Fernando Tatis Jr. hitting a home run, and it was just like from the side shot of just the swing, not really seeing where the ball went. And it's such a sweet swing that I don't know how to coach kids how to have a better swing to go back to the league. But I'm showing this to Silas. I was like, just can you do this? I don't know how to explain it, but can you just watch this and like swing like this guy does? Because this is how you should swing. So I wasn't zooming on a Rubenstein swing, but I was zooming in on Fernando Jr.
I get it. Yeah, exactly.
Judge,
also, it didn't hit me until recently that Rubenstein looks like Steve Martin. Okay. So that was throwing me off a little bit in the photos as well.
Okay, we'll have to do a side by side there. I also got an email about Home Plate Club. Is this new? Was this there last year? Did you get this email inviting you to Home Plate Club? I did look on this to see how much it cost. But I'm not even sure what it is, to be honest.
I got the email. I did not.
We can go on Saturday after opening day if you want. They have tickets available.
No, it's a club level but it said like private dine-in, all inclusive. It's what we used to go to at the Nats games, except it's club level seats with food and everything.
Yeah. Why did it say all inclusive? But
no, it is all inclusive.
Cash bar or whatever.
All inclusive. Appetizers, ballpark classics, griddle, carving station, chilled seafood, saute station. So
it is just like the Nats.
Desserts. It's just like what the Nats do in their Diamond Club or whatever they call their thing.
Yeah.
This is new.
Yeah. Okay. It's new.
How much were tickets? $125?
Yeah.
Is that the price?
I think it was $102.
$102?
That's what I think I saw. Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I looked at it and said it's not outrageous.
For all you can eat and club level seats?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Not available for opening day.
No, you can go on Saturday though.
Or Sunday, eat a nice Easter dinner, Easter lunch at the game. All right. I don't know how this website works. But that's not, is it silly that I'm like, that's not a bad price?
It ranges from 102 in section 274 to section 254 is 163. So it goes between 163 and 102.
All right. So where's the 102? What sections did you say that is?
Looking at section 272 to 280.
All right. So that's down the first base line. Or no, that's way out there. 270, you said?
Yeah, 272. So that's like in the outfield.
That's left field. Or that's left field. And what was the 254? Was the close one?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. But
I don't know. It's not.
But you can sit. So $102, you sit in the outfield. I didn't know there was club seats out there. To be honest, this is news to me.
Yeah, you know what? I think that used to be the Miller flight deck. But
okay.
I mean, how much are the tickets? Tickets for that for the upper deck out there are like $35.
Right.
So now you're going to add an extra $65, and it's all I can eat.
Yeah.
And I got an air conditioned place.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah. All right.
I don't mind that.
I'm not opposed to it either, Josh.
No, for the right game.
Josh, we've been saying this, and I don't get haters on ticket prices when it comes to Orioles.
All right,
go to another city or state and go and try to go to the baseball game.
Yeah,
you can get tickets $12 to the Orioles.
Yes.
Walk in and get tickets.
Yeah, and
$100 is not bad. I mean, how much does seats from the Nationals cost? And I know they're
a couple
lower.
hundred. Yeah,
but we're talking about hundreds of dollars.
Full service menu begins when the gates open and concludes 1 hour after the first pitch. Ballpark classics, beverages, and desserts closes after the bottom of the seventh. That's not bad at all.
Right.
You get there right when gates open. You eat. You hang out at the stadium. You're in this little private area.
You hit some golf balls into the outfield.
Well, no, you're not going to be able to do that.
Oh, that's not part of the same event.
But then you go wander around. You watch a ball game, and then you hang out for an hour after the game, just eating more while the parking lot clears.
No, they shut it down after the first hour of the game.
Oh, never mind. I read that wrong. 1 hour after the first pitch.
Yeah, after the first pitch.
All right.
So you got to scratch down your food quick.
But you have ballpark classics. So like hot dogs, chicken fingers, sodas, peanuts, Cracker Jacks, desserts until the bottom of the seventh. I'm fine with that. So what you lose is the carving stations and the seafood and the griddle. So you come before the game, you have dinner.
Josh, you got this all laid out, Josh. I love it.
Yeah, maybe we do that the Saturday after opening day. I'm not opposed. I don't have my tickets.
I think we already have our tickets though. So
do we? Oh man.
Yeah. All right. Other you mentioned some shenanigans. I just want to mention briefly, Josh, were you aware of they did this talent show?
I know they do it every year. I never see any. You rarely see like highlights or anything from it.
Right. Even this, there's no cameras allowed, but they were kind of.
It's like it's part of rookie hazing and stuff. All the teams do it.
Yeah, like just weird stuff like Colton Cowser sang Christmas carols. Grace Rodriguez, Cole Irvin, Keegan Aiken worked to remove Tyler Wells' tires in 6 minutes, which I don't know if that's impressive.
Did they do that on camera, or did they tell all the guys, "Hey, come on out to the car. We're gonna do some Daytona 500 stuff"?
Yeah, it said Connor Norby's quoted back. They came running back in here with 2 big tires. So I think they ran out and then within 6 minutes ran back in with 2 big tires that were belonging to Tyler Wells' truck. And they put it back.
I'm hoping Tyler Wells did not know what was going down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which they say kids today don't know how to change tires. It's not true with our players. Our players can change tires.
The Daytona 500 was like a week and a half ago, so that might have been a little inspired from that.
Yeah, we got some fishermen on our team and some NASCAR fans.
We definitely got some rednecks and Southern boys.
Well, I didn't. I said fishermen and NASCAR fans. I didn't say what you said.
Wait, it's what I said. A negative?
I think some people might take offense at those terms. Yes.
What Southern boy?
No, I think the redneck term people might take offense at.
Okay. All right. I didn't know that was offensive.
I think that's an offensive term to some. Also, Norby, Jackson, Holiday, Kobe Mayo, Heston Kjerstad, they reenacted a scene from Step Brothers. This is one I feel like
this is
never
one
really
where
got Step Brothers, but this is a generational thing.
This is a generational thing.
Like our Dumb and Dumber, I guess.
Yes. It is our Dumb and Dumber. It is for people younger than us. They just love this movie.
I don't really get it, but whatever. But the thing, I guess, that stole the show is, and I had never heard about this before, but I guess it's a YouTube video where it's like ping pong matrix.
Okay.
And are you aware of this?
No, but I mean, I'm understanding it's slow motion ping pong, right? With what's it, an invisible ball or something?
Yes, like you have like people dressed in black holding this ball, but you kind of can't see them because they're all in black.
Okay.
Move the ball around and then even lift up people playing ping pong.
Right. All right. So it's like
getting in midair.
It's like a green screen type thing. Yeah.
Yes, I think it came out after that ping pong movie, the comedy ping pong comedy movie.
I don't know, but okay, I know what you're saying. So, right, so they're in black, ping pong's going around, and they make it look like the ping pong players are doing just outrageous things.
Yeah,
gotcha. So who
and
participated
that was
in
apparently
that?
it's called Matrix Ping Pong, and apparently that one stole the show.
All right, who was in that? You don't even know.
Man. I don't even know.
You got all these
banner. I
shows.
tried to look back up in the bottom banner, but now it says you reached your free story limit, so I can't even look at the story
I know.
again.
Oh, I got kicked off the Baltimore banner this week as well because I stopped paying. So I did go see the Savannah Bananas last Friday.
All right.
So I got to tell you, went in with a lot of hype because you and I have been way out ahead of this Savannah Bananas stuff. We've been talking about the bananas for years.
Yeah, and they've kind of recently
like,
blown up on Twitter and social media,
especially
and stuff with all the shenanigans.
I feel like the tail end of COVID, they really blew up, and like when TikTok came out and stuff, it really pushed them, and ESPN and MLB and everyone was pushing their little clips of weird intros and everything. Not only did I see the bananas, I took Pop with me to see the bananas.
Oh,
so
is that Pop's cup of tea? That's bananas.
Skip to the end. No, it's not.
Okay.
Downside is I had a 2-hour rain delay before the game started.
You took Owen too, though, right? I think that's it's much more of a
Owen,
thing, right?
Took Camden, took Kelly, took mom and dad. 2-hour rain delay, which was a struggle. But I'll tell you, here's what the bananas do really well. The bananas are excellent with kids.
Right.
Owen loved it. Owen had a great time. Owen says it's his favorite team. And here's why. They do not hide from the kids. When you go in, they're waiting outside the ballpark with the kids, high-fiving them, signing autographs. Right. When it was a 2-hour rain delay, the players all came through the concourse and were signing autographs and hanging out with the kids during the rain delay.
Right.
Like, they didn't even have to do anything on the field.
Right.
And, like, Owen was in heaven because it's these baseball players giving him attention. I got him a bananas hat, and he got all the players to sign it on the bananas and the party animals.
Nice.
I think he said.
Was your friend there from the party animals?
Yeah, Tanner played for the party animals.
Nice.
I think he got 30 signatures. He loved it. He had a great time. Here's what I'll say as a 44-year-old man at the bananas.
Right. There are many, Pop times 2 felt this. Okay, go ahead.
There are many adults at the banana games going crazy for the bananas and like coming with gifts for the players and stuff, and a little too much into the bananas.
Okay.
As a 44-year-old man,
like a cult type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a 44-year-old man at a bananas game, I don't know if the rain dampened my day, if I went in with too much hype, or I'm just old. I'm guessing I'm just old and I love baseball too much.
Right.
That it felt like watching my kids' YouTube and TikTok videos. Like everything's going on at once and they're doing some weird intro and they're while baseball game's going on, and the longest a song plays is 8 seconds, and then they change it to another song. There's all this noise going on. There's stuff over here going on. There's old lady cheerleaders. There's dad bod cheerleaders. There's a guy in a banana suit. There's a giant baseball bat. There's all this stuff going on.
As much chaos as we can into this.
And at the same time, they're playing a baseball game, and the pitcher's doing a dance before he throws it. The umpire has his structured dance to call a strikeout. They have a celebration. What I do like is I like the rules of banana ball. I like how it resets every inning, and it's whoever scores most in that inning wins the inning. Okay. And they get 1 point. And it's total innings. I like that. It's just there's too much going on where I felt like I could not focus and just enjoy a baseball game. I felt old, and I felt like this is for a younger generation that can take in. These are for the kids who are watching a YouTube video on their iPad while watching a YouTube on their TV and playing the Switch on the Switch all at the same time, which is what my kids do, and my kids somehow were able to take all this in, and they had a great time. They got the hats, they got the T-shirts, they wore them to school on Monday. They were all excited. Kids had a great time. It was just too much for me.
Right.
So, but any chance to get kids to pay a little attention to baseball, I'm down for. So I'm pro
Even
bananas.
if it's a very far cry from what baseball really is.
Correct.
Even if they might go back to watching Orioles and think, oh, this is pretty boring. There's no cheerleaders. There's no guy on stilts. There's no dancing.
Right. Like they had like a 30-minute pregame ceremony type thing. And that might have been just after the rain delay, but they had someone sing, then a special banana delivery, then a first banana, then a baby of the day, and then this and that. And it was all before the game even started. Introductions of everyone. And for me, it was too much. For the kids, they loved it.
Yeah.
And the difference is that if I could take the kids to an Oriole game, it could be a pitcher's duel. And I'm loving it sitting there.
Right.
And they are completely bored out of their mind. No one, here's what I'll tell you. At the Bananas game, I know the crowd was into it because they were loud, they were cheering, and there was no wave. And you know how much I hate the wave.
I love the wave, yeah.
But the wave is a sign that the crowd those people are not paying attention to the game.
I don't think that's what the wave is at all. I think you completely misinterpret the wave.
I will.
But you're right. In this, as I get older, Josh, I just every year I've been going to a lot of Mercer College baseball games, and we don't pay for a ticket. We just sit in the outfield, so my kids kind of run around and I can watch the game. And the older I get, I'm just falling more in love with baseball.
Yeah, with the beauty of baseball.
I love the pace of it. I love, and college baseball does a little bit faster. They got the pitch clock, like they move things along. But I love the pacing of it. I love the relaxing of it. I love the break between innings. I don't need all the shenanigans. I love the sport. And so, yeah, I'm with you. That would probably be annoying.
I love the pressure of baseball. I like that when I'm stressed out about baseball, because if you get all stressed and hyped up and then you get that release that it went your way, it's great. You don't get any of that with the Bananas. You don't care at all. It's like, okay, great. Bananas won. Okay, great.
Yeah.
But great for the kids.
Right. And you mentioned this. I just want to go back to the beginning. You mentioned you're excited to see Jackson Holliday, and you also mentioned Enrique Bradfield Jr. Others, and I know he's not even he wasn't even invited to spring training. He's just showing up in some games because they need extra players. But I watched him play last year. I went to see him play in the minors. And for my money, there's no one more exciting in the Orioles organization than to watch Enrique Bradfield Jr. because he's going to steal a base every time he touches first. And he's so freaking fast. And that's me, that's the most excitement I need is to see Enrique Bradfield on the bases.
And it's a reason to watch.
Yeah, it makes it compelling. And then you watch his at bat to see if there's any way he can get to first. And then if he gets to first, can he turn a walk into a triple?
Yeah, exactly.
And how will the pitcher hold him on, knowing he can only throw over there twice? Yeah, it's just interesting.
I'll tell you my favorite thing about the Bananas game was bringing mom and dad to the game.
Yeah, I would imagine this does not go over well with mom and dad. All these
they left early.
Okay,
they stayed for about half the game. But the national anthem, there was 1-0 yelled in the stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was of course Dad, which is always nice to hear. And I went somewhere recently and did not hear an O when yelled. And I was telling my wife, I don't know if I've ever heard the national anthem without an O being yelled. So it was nice to have that back and be reminded of that. And whenever we're in that situation where he's the only one that yells it, I cannot help but start to laugh and be reminded of seeing the movie 42 in the movie theater with you.
Yes, I recall.
Where
he got a little excited.
He got a little too excited that the national anthem was there.
Yeah.
And jumped the gun a little bit. Premature.
Yeah.
So always brings me joy.
Yeah. You got in the Rockets red glare. It can get you sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Well, 3 weeks until we're together for opening day.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Hey, I like I said, I purchased my plane tickets. I flying out of Macon. We had to do a little thing where my wife had to cancel a flight earlier this year, so we had to use her voucher. And to do it, we had to call them. We had to call the
Oh, that's
this is a
stressful.
small airline Contour, so I put it on speaker with Emily because we had to buy the ticket in her name, then transfer it to my name to get the credit,
Right.
And then we're talking, and I'm leading the conversation. Then they said, "Okay, get your information." First, they get Emily's information. I tell them Emily's information. They said Emily's birthday. Josh, how big of a deal? How big of a deal is this? Emily, I think thinks this is a big deal. I think it's a no deal.
You didn't know her birthday?
I said the wrong date for her birthday. Is that a big deal?
Year or day? What part did you get
said
wrong?
30. I said August 31st. It's the 30th. I was just a day off.
That's a pretty big deal.
To be a day off to say
That's
the 31st as opposed to the 30th.
Yeah, you've been married like 10 years, 12 years. How long have you been married?
Will be 16.
All right, 16. And you've been with her basically since like middle school. So yeah, that's a big deal.
That I don't know her birthday. It was a day off. It was a day. The 30th and 31st are both threes. There's not many threes in the month.
I know. You know what you got to do? Here's the tip. Here's how you remember your wife's birthday.
Yeah.
You make it the pin to your phone.
Oh, I redid that for my son's birthday because I always kept on forgetting his birthday.
Okay, see? All right.
Oh, shoot. Now everybody knows my PIN number, Josh. Shoot, we got to stop talking about this.
Yeah, that was my strategy as well. My PIN is my wife's birthday.
Okay. Yeah. I got to get my kids' birthdays down, and then I'll switch back to my wife's birthday.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Now I know. 8:30. Got it.
I get Camden's birthday confused all the time, whether it's the 2nd or the 3rd.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Okay, thank you.
It's on my calendar.
I appreciate you saying that, Josh. Thank you for saying that.
But that's my kid, not my wife.
All right, well, I think it's an honest mistake. Emily disagrees.
Will she has she not talked to you since?
Oh no, she hasn't even mentioned anything about it. But I can tell it bothers her. It's like she was gone for the weekend and she came back after being gone all weekend. She went to Maryland this weekend to hang out with friends, came back. And I worked my butt off to clean the whole house. I did laundry. Mm-hmm. She came back. She didn't say a word about it. She mentioned that the shade was a little bit tilted on one of the lamps. I corrected it. She didn't say anything else about good or bad, but I already know.
That's
saying.
But if you went through the effort to clean the house and everything, you want some credit. You want at least acknowledgement. Why
I want acknowledgement, even though I know Emily does this every day without any acknowledgement, and yet when I do it once, I want acknowledgement. I get there is unfairness there.
Did you just see those bubbles?
Yeah.
How did bubbles just come up on your face on your video?
Nah, they like it. Someone liked it.
Is that what that is? Yeah. I've never seen that before.
But I know no comment means that this is what she's saying without saying any words. Matt, I appreciated that you made an effort to try to keep the house clean. It really isn't clean, even though you think it's clean. It's really messy.
Oh,
but I don't want to hurt your feelings by saying that, so I'm just going to be quiet about it. That's all that we said. That's what I don't know her birthday, but I know everything she's thinking. So,
in your cleaning, did you vacuum?
I vacuumed, yes.
Did you mop?
I didn't mop.
Yeah, see,
Emily and I have two very different definitions of cleaning.
I know.
For cleaning, it involves
I agree.
And mops, and for me, it involves
picking up
a paper towel and a vacuum and picking up.
For me, cleaning means pick up everything.
Yeah,
but I know that for my wife, it means pick everything up, vacuum, and mop.
Yeah,
and wipe
mop
down.
And use special cleaning stuff on the sink.
Yeah,
and
soap.
I can't even understand what she sees. It's like we see two different worlds.
No, I am right there with you. I agree with you on this.
All right, I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah, but that's probably a good time for us to stop.
Oh yeah, let's stop talking about this. And by the way, to someone on Facebook, we are brothers.
Yeah, I saw that question come in.
We made him wait to the end of the show for it, but we are brothers.
Hey, but I enjoy this live stream. I enjoy we've got some feedback coming in here, and a good number of we got like 40 people watching. That's great.
Yeah. Maybe we should always do on Wednesdays. We normally do on Monday nights. Maybe Wednesday nights is a better night.
Maybe we switch it up. All Let's see. I don't know. Maybe listeners can let us know when they'd like to tune in.
All right. And maybe it depends on Josh's Little League schedule.
It does. It does. That
mine too. Whenever my commissioner releases my schedule.
Yes. Yep.
But all right, let's get out of here. If you enjoyed the show, thank you for listening or watching. You can show your appreciation by heading over to Apple Podcasts or iTunes or wherever you listen and leaving us a 5-star review. We would appreciate that.
Yes. Did you know that if you use the Apple Podcast app, now they add transcripts to our show? Apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I got an email from Apple about it. So look for the transcripts in the Apple Podcast app. And while you're there, give us a 5-star and write a little review. That helps people find and share the show. Keep sharing the show. I'll tell you, last week, Matt, was one of our highest downloaded shows of the off season.
Oh,
so
crap.
It's cool to see people get
show.
I don't even remember, but it's cool to see people get excited for the baseball season coming.
Not to get my wife talk into it, I know we got to wrap up, but Emily and I, there was an issue with, I got Apple TV free when I got a new phone.
Yes.
And so Emily signed in with my Apple ID, but somehow that like combined our podcast, and then we kind of signed off again. But now we still share some podcasts that we both listen to. So now we race in the mornings to listen to the Daily first because it goes away from our phones once the other person listens to it. So now we're competing with who can listen to the podcast faster before it's gone. I hate technology. I'm sure there was an easy solution to this, but it wasn't easy for us.
There is an easy solution. Use your account. She has her own account, and then you link it through family sharing.
Oh yeah, we were able to do that, but somehow still these podcasts that we both listen to are shared. I don't know why.
I don't know. Get a different podcast app than for yourself.
I know I should do it on Spotify.
I use Overcast as my podcast app.
Oh really? All right.
So I like that. That's my tip. Tech tip.
Tech tip. Josh's daily tech tip. All right. Let's
go to Birdland Sports.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's.